Hey everyone, and welcome to another Spinner Reviews concert review. And today I'm going to be talking about Run the Jewels, who I saw last Tuesday at Porter's TSD, San Diego. Always great venues there. So this is sort of a new format I'm trying out for these concert reviews because what I've done in the past, like with the exception of huge festivals, was just do it how I normally would for an album review. It's just like talking in front of the camera, in front of the background. But I figured that would be kind of cool to just like do it with the video footage showing here, just to, I don't know, make it a little more cohesive instead of just like tacking it all at the end. Let me know what you guys think. So recently I did a album review of Run the Jewels 2, and like pretty much everyone else on the internet, I absolutely loved it, and it'll probably be my favorite hip-hop album of the year, most likely. So needless to say, around the time I was listening to the album, I found out they were going to be playing here in a couple weeks. I was definitely excited to go to that. Also because I haven't really been to that many like full-on hip-hop concerts before, so this would definitely be an interesting one for me too, no matter what the artist was. Anyway, going right into it, first up was Despot. Now, my knowledge of this guy is fairly limited, really. Until now, all I knew about him was that in pretty much every interview LP was asked when his album's coming out, and Despot himself was pretty self-aware about that in his show, kind of joking around about that a lot with the crowd. And he actually pointed out that every song that he played in this set was from that new album, which is pretty cool and shows that it's obviously almost done. And the performance itself was really good too. He had a good amount of energy, moved around the stage a lot, again, interacted with the crowd a lot, which is pretty fun. And even though there are some beats in the songs that are a little bouncier, for lack of a better term, I imagine this still appealing to a lot of the same fans as Run the Jewels, which I guess is to be expected given he signed to LP's label. Next up was Ratking. Now, I'm a little more familiar with these guys just because the album they put out this year, So It Goes, has been getting a lot of good reception, including from some reviewers I'm definitely a fan of. And these guys have a ton of energy, Wiki just like almost screaming on stage at points, like really moving around a lot, as you can tell from the video footage here and kind of the audio underneath. I'm kind of on the fence as to whether or not I'm going to check out the album just because I have so much on my plate at the moment, but if I had anything kind of negative to say, it would be that I feel like a lot of the beats tended to kind of run together, and it kind of felt like just one 30-minute song to me. They had a lot of the same elements to them, but it was still really entertaining for the most part, and I really don't have much to complain about. And finally, we had Run the Jewels. Now, the first bit of footage you're seeing here is from close on stage, just like with the rest of it, and that's where I was hoping to stay for the whole show. But then the crowd, just from the first note of the first song, went absolutely insane, and that rarely happens. Like, I'm not even much of a moshing guy, but I can kind of stand to be, like, pushed around a little, but these guys just, like, I don't even know. I guess it says a lot that Run the Jewels can really get the crowd going, even with a song as, like, not heavy or, like, droning as Oh My Darling Don't Cry, for example. So I had to move to the back of the venue just to, record good footage and keep myself intact. Now, like I said in the album review, I have to admit, I am not too familiar with the discographies of both Killer Mike and LP. At this point, I've just heard both the Run the Jewels albums and just like various singles from both them solo. But fortunately, they did seem aware that a lot of people would be in that same kind of situation given how much buzz Run the Jewels has gotten, and most of the set did consist of stuff from the Run the Jewels albums. They played a good majority of the songs from both Run the Jewels albums, and it was really cool seeing like such quotable lines being repeated back by the audience on even the non-singles. And this was great in the crowd interaction department too, LP pointing out at some point that this is the most ratchet crowd they've had on the whole tour, which, given what I said earlier, I wouldn't be surprised by in the slightest. And there were even points before or after or during songs where LP or Killer Mike would give like a little monologue about like the meaning of a song. It was really impassioned, it was really sincere, and it really added a lot to the experience. So yeah, fantastic show all around. I really don't have any complaints, unless you count the little things I said about Ratking, but again, they were great by most standards. So if any of you guys have seen Run the Jewels or LP or Killer Mike solo before, which I strongly recommend if they come by our area on this tour, what do you think? Do you agree with what I had to say? Do you have a similar experience? Did you have anything else to add? I admit, I am keeping this kind of brief and kind of general. I just kind of want to make a video about this, just kind of get the basic basic points across. Also, let me know what you think of this format for concert reviews. Like, do you prefer this or just like the regular, like, vlogish one I did before? Let me know in the comments, I'm curious. Anyway, share this around with anyone who might be interested. Like the Facebook page in the description for updates, commentaries, music news, and reviews of older albums. Remember to check out my Run the Jewels 2 review if you haven't seen it already. It'll be annotated here and linked in the description. And hopefully I'll see you on the next episode of Spin It Reviews. We'll be right back.